Hello, everybody. Welcome to Targeting Winners, a college football betting podcast. Thank you for listening on Spotify and Apple. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe. It's free, it's easy, and it helps us out. We appreciate all of you. And I'm Tim. I'm here in my bunker under ISIS captivity, and I'm also joined today from the beaches of Mexico. Pedro, how are you doing, sir?
Not too bad, sir. Not too bad. Moving quickly toward Christmas here. It is bowl season, so we're doing a little bowling here, and all is looking okay.
I was looking okay. Darren, up in upstate New York, freezing up there, I'm sure. How are you?
It's cold. It sucks here. It's already snowed twice. I cannot wait till you get me a place to live in Florida.
Well, I know it's cold down here. I got my sweatshirt on. It's like 58 is the low today. That was kind of cold. So
it was 87 here, so there's some freezing over there.
Literally, you can both share a bag of dicks. I'm sorry. That's all I got to say about that. Sorry, you.
Well, remember when you shovel snow, bend from the knees. You don't want to hurt your back.
Oh, I got one of those shovels that's got like the arc to it to save my back because 87 years old and nobody's here to shovel it for me. So.
Okay, well, before we get into the picks, we had another coach fired for cause. Gets Sherrod Moore off the burner for now. If it was a bigger coach, but it was in the MAC, I believe, Ohio University. Have you heard anything about that, Darren or Pete?
Just came out today. Got fired for cause. Details not available at the moment, but I'm sure, given the most reliable news source on the planet, Twitter, something will come out shortly. But that gets us to 3 openings. I would imagine whoever gets it, along with Michigan, and I believe who's the other one? Missouri State is the other one. I would expect that all these get filled before the January 2nd opening day of the portal. We had like a half a dozen quarterbacks say they're going to enter, probably more than that, but half a dozen that we've all probably heard of. It's going to be nuts, man. I kind of can't wait to see where everybody goes.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting to see. I'm still holding on hope Lane Kiffin leads LSU to go to Alabama. Somehow they say it's not going to happen, but I'm praying for it. That's my dream. Just have Lane Kiffin set the entire SEC on fire. Have the whole place hate him. That'd be great.
So, I think they already hate him, so we're good. But yeah, I don't know. Right. As far as I know, the Ohio coach was not also arrested though, so he's got to raise his game up a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
He got to get a little better.
So he's in better standing, sort of. He
might actually get hired again somewhere else eventually. He has a chance at the future.
Yeah, there's no. Once you serve time, I guess you don't have much chance to get into a new job. So
break down your girlfriend's door, hold a knife to your neck. That's a little bit of a problem. So hey, whatever.
That's frowned upon.
I did see a tweet, not to make light of everything that's going on, but that he went in there and grabbed a butter knife. Yeah, somebody had tweeted, no wonder he got fired. He had no idea how to use his weapons. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Try the meatloaf and tip your waitress. All
right. Okay. All right. Well, we got the first batch of bowl games here, or the second batch, actually. We had a few bets last week. They're starting to sprinkle in day by day. The first one we have here is the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Kennesaw State against Western Michigan. So it's their first FBS bowl game for Kennesaw State. At the time of this recording, so far, no one opting out. We did have one player for Kennesaw State go into the transfer portal, but he still plans to play anyway. The opening line is Western Michigan -3.5 with an over-under of 49.5. Darren, let's start with you. We got the Conference USA and the MAC here playing. How are you feeling?
Yeah, my 2 favorite conferences. I do have a lean towards the under here, only because I had a couple of bets on Western Michigan during midweek action in November, and man, I don't even know if they even throw the ball at this program. I mean, I love Brock Lowry as a running quarterback, but the last 3 games he played in, he hasn't thrown for more than 111 yards. And one of those 3 games, he threw for 32 in a game where the team scored 35. Kennesaw State also a very run-heavy offense. 49.5 or 48.5, whatever it is now, just seems way too high. I know Kennesaw does like to run, but Western Michigan's got a pretty legit defense. So Buckley, their running back, supposedly had a hand injury, but he's supposed to go. no official bet, but I got to lean the under here. That's way too high for two teams that are like in the top 30 in the country at running the ball.
I was thinking the same thing. Peter, how about you?
Yeah, I could not agree more. I strongly considered playing the under here. I mean, especially at the 9 a.m. kickoff, right? That is historically brutal for offenses. That just doesn't go well for offenses at all. If you look back across history, teams that just don't score that much, as Darren mentioned, right? They barely throw the ball, it seems, these days. Western does. I don't know what's going on here. So, I mean, this seems like whoever scores 21 points first wins the game. I think this is I think it's going to be a low scoring game. So, yeah, I didn't bet it, but at the moment, I'm kind of wishing I did. I still might. Who knows? But at the moment, it's a very strong lean under here.
Yeah, just two things. I just checked. I got DraftKings up. That's actually down to 47.5 as we speak. So by the time you get this video, it might even be below a somewhat key number of 47. That's actually an 11 o'clock start time, according to DraftKings. That's what it says.
Yeah, I saw 9 Eastern, 10.
That could be also. I mean, I just pulled up the game. It says 11.
Okay, I know it's
I saw 9 too. I got it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, about it. It's in the morning, so.
Either way, it's before noon. So.
Yeah.
Generally.
I'm hoping to be out of bed by the time now. Well, no, it's this Friday, so yeah.
Isn't that when they used to play the Gator Bowl? They used to play the Gator Bowl like 10 a.m. or something. I remember that as a kid or something. It used to be early in the morning.
Yeah, there used to be like a bunch of New Year's Day bowls, and they would always start at like 11 o'clock at the.
Yeah, I remember like waking up and it was like the early morning bowl, whatever the heck it played early.
Yeah, so. All right, we're going to move on to the Gasparilla Bowl. We got Memphis taking on NC State. Reggie Howard, the interim coach for Memphis. Also, as of this recording, or when I last made these slides, no opt-outs. I didn't see any in the transfer portal. This is also a Friday. I did not get the time, but it is in Tampa, Florida. Peter, we can start with you on this one. The opening line is NC State minus 5.5 at over/under of 57.5.
Yeah, that number feels a little inflated to me. Not tremendously, but a little inflated to me. We kind of see it when you get like SEC, ACC kind of games that number seems to come in and opens a little bit inflated. So I think that's a little bit high. NC State, their defense tends to historically travel well, so I'd expect to see some defense from that side. Memphis is explosive, but they're a bit inconsistent against physical fronts. So I'm not sure what we're going to see here. I mean, I do think you're going to see some scoring. It's not going to be a low-scoring game, but you're almost touching on 60 there. I don't know if we're going to quite see that. I could see a 27, 23, something like that. I would not be surprised at scoring of that nature. So this is another where I'm leaning on the under, not nearly as heavily as the last game, but leaning under, definitely not playing it. But I still think it's going to be a kind of a fun game to watch. But I certainly think it's going to go under here. So those are my thoughts.
They got Memphis. They have the longest streak in the American Conference of 12 straight postseason appearances. So they got that going for them. Mm-hmm. NC State looking for their first bowl win, I believe, since 2017. Darren, do you have any thoughts on this one?
Well, first of all, if you're in the American, you've made a bowl 12 straight times. That's like being the greatest hockey player in Ecuador. Who really cares? But I do have a bet on this game. This is down to 4.5, and that's a little too low for me. So I took NC State. I laid the 4.5 here. I mean, we talk about it and we complain, the three of us together in our group text, about how bowl games are really tough to bet. You never know from day-to-day basis who's staying, who's not staying. But one of the things that I use as a handicap is like the coaching situation. Now you look at NC State, Dave Doran, pretty business-like dude. He's all about the bowl games. His thing is basically like, as long as you can play, I expect you to play. The reason I made this bet, CJ Bailey, their quarterback, is expected to play. Obviously, that could blow up in my face, but I figured he's going to go anyway. Memphis, big coaching change. Their coach left to go to Arkansas, took his coordinators, at least took his offense coordinator with him. Don't know what to expect from Memphis. Yeah, and also we talked about it last week, comparing the stats from different conferences. You got a Power 4 team against a Group of 5 team. NC State's stats, as far as running and passing, are actually better than what Memphis has, and Memphis had lesser competition. So I expect kind of a business-like effort here from the Wolfpack. I expect them to cover this 4.5. So, and like Tim said, no major opt-outs yet. They may have a few. But also, like Pete said, you never know what you're going to get from Memphis. I have to assume that, again, they choked away their regular season just like they did last year. I have to assume that they probably don't want to be here. So yeah, that's I was holding out for the 4, but nobody looked like they were getting 4 anytime soon. So as much as I hate having the hook there, I do have a 1-unit play on NC State -4.5.
I try to pump up Memphis a little bit, and you just got to piss all over it. Debbie Downer.
They would rather be in Ecuador. I don't know what to tell you. Sure. I got a feeling NC State's gonna get it done here.
I'm sure it's warm down there. You're pretty close to Ecuador, Pete. How is it down there?
It's beautiful.
You should travel down there for a weekend, see what it's like down there.
I thought about it. Yeah.
All right. Also, Friday the 19th, 8 o'clock, Norman, Oklahoma. Alabama and Oklahoma, the first game of the college football playoff. Alabama -1.5, the over-under of 40.5. Got a rematch of the regular season. Let me see. We started with Darren last time, right? So we'll go with Pete. Any thoughts on this one?
I do. I actually have a bet on this one. So over under 40.5. Obviously, that this one had a bit of interest with me with Kalen DeBoer and all of that. I don't think he's coming to Michigan, so I think he's staying. So that's
please go to Michigan.
I think it's a good thing for Bama. I think they're going to play like it's a good thing for Bama. I think they're going to be happy about that. So I think they're going to come out and play well. Oklahoma's been a little bipolar a bit this year, right? You don't quite know what you're going to get. I think you're going to get the good Oklahoma here. That's what I expect to see. This is generally the kind of game for me. I look at this like, kind of an SEC type of battle, right? And that way, those games, I usually look at the under, but this number is a little light for me, right? 40.5 is a little low. I do think we're going to get some scoring here. I mean, not a ton. This is not going to be a scoring fest. This is not Lane Kiffin. We're not going to see that. But I do think we're going to breach that number. I do think we're going to see something, north of maybe 40, 44, 45, something like that in total. So I'm going over on this game, 40.5 with 1 unit, just because I do think Bama is going to, once again, be quite happy with the fact that I think the coach is going to stay there. And I do think that Oklahoma is going to come out with their A game. So it should be interesting.
Darren.
Went back and forth on this game multiple times. Could really care less. I don't think either of these teams are playing well enough to even be here in this situation, but we touched on that a week or two ago. Jay Miller is supposed to play for Alabama. Not that they have any kind of a running game worth talking about, but at least that can't hurt. I don't know what version of John Mateer I'm going to get. Obviously, I don't know how the hell they cashed at least 8 regular season wins for me. I'm glad they did. But they certainly have looked like they were a 4-8 team as opposed to 10-2 or whatever hell they went. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Alabama goes in and gets this win here. If I had to lean one side, it would be Alabama, as much as that pains me to say it. But I just don't know what I'm going to get from either team here. So for me, that's a stay away. But I can certainly see 24-17 with no problem cashing Pete's over there. But no play for me here.
You don't think DeBoer's going to leave if they lose this one? Back-to-back 4-loss seasons?
No, I don't. I mean, unless they
like that, they're not.
Unless they get blown out or something, I don't see that happening. I just don't know. I don't.
Now you're just being a downer for me, so killing my dreams here. All right, we're going to move on to Saturday. Boy, the team I hate against Texas A&M. We got my implied money line bet here with Texas A&M to win the national championship from back in June when I made this. Opening line A&M is -3.5, over under of 51.5. Matchup's gonna be one in the trenches. So Miami's in, having not won the ACC, so they are still not back. Darren, we'll start with you on this one. What you thinking?
Much like the other game, went back and forth on this one multiple times. So it depend on which version of the Texas A&M defense shows up here. Are we going to get the one that actually played well in certain situations? Or are we the one that gave up 40 points to Arkansas or whoever it was? Playing in that stadium, if Carson Beck threw 3 picks, that wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, the guy is certainly capable of being rattled. I expect that to be an environment like Miami has not seen all year. The 3.5 kind of scares me a little bit, that laying that hook. I do think Texas A&M wins this. As a fan, I'll be rooting Tim, for your 30-1 bet here to last another game. But like you said, I don't know which version of Carson Beck I'm going to get. I don't know which version of the A&M defense I'm going to get. I will enjoy it. And from a fan perspective, I also am anti-Miami. And again, somebody on this show's got A&M win it all. So I'll be rooting for the Aggies, but I am not putting my money on anything about this game at all.
Peter.
Yeah, these are two teams that are inconsistent. And looking at that number, that 51.5, man, I could make an argument under. I could make an argument over. I could have gone either way on this thing to exactly Darren's points. What's Carson Beck going to do? Is he going to come out and light it up if Texas A&M's defense just isn't on that day? Possible. Could he throw 3 picks? Could he throw 3 pick sixes? He could, right? I don't know. I really have no idea where that's going to go. I think it's just with him, with Carson himself, who knows? With that A&M defense, I have no flipping idea. I didn't know where to go with this thing because it could be a tight game or it could turn into a blowout. I have absolutely no idea. So I stayed the heck away from it. I was probably leaning toward the under, but I could not even get myself to do anything with it. So,
yeah, this game gave me a pit in my stomach, man. I feel nauseous because, this year has not been good to me. The football gods do not want me to have nice things. So my last 30-1 national championship bet could be wiped out by the team I hate the most. At least the game is not on Friday night, so I stay away from the Friday night games. I kind of like it that it's at noon and not in prime time. I did place a bet on here. I bet the over of 51.5. I'm guessing a hybrid of the good and bad A&M defense. I still think they're going to give up probably about 24 to 30 points in this one. They can easily score enough to get the rest. Miami's pretty good on third down. They convert almost 50% of them. You don't need a shootout, 30 to 26 gets it done. That's not exactly a light them up, run and gun kind of game. So, I like the over here. Scared to death. I'm going to be sweating this one for more than other reasons. I just want Miami to lose so bad, if more than anything else. I mean, Miami could be playing anybody. I'm going to want them to lose. But yeah, I took the over in this one. I'm just guessing it's just going to be a very high scoring. I think Carson Beck won't throw 3 interceptions. He might throw 1 or 2. Hopefully that's enough to get it for A&M. But maybe get a couple of short fields, some quick scores. Marcel show out today or Saturday in this case. So, going with the over 51.5.
That is interesting. See, when I was thinking over under, I was thinking, if it were over, it would lean Miami. If it were under, it would lean A&M. I mean, that's the way I was thinking about it. You're thinking about the opposite, right? You want Miami to lose, and you're thinking that over would support A&M, and I was actually thinking about the opposite way. So that's interesting.
A&M, they can score. I mean, even when they've like we saw them play Arkansas, they gave up like 42 points. That they scored 49 or whatever it was. I mean, they can easily put up the points. If they're faced with a crisis where they just can't stop the other team, they can probably match and then just hope they get the ball last and be able to, or get it in overtime. They do have a couple defenders coming back. They have a linebacker coming back. I think it's number 7, the running back, will be coming back as well. Moss, I think his name is. I think he's coming back. I don't know how much he's going to play, but he should be coming back from an injury. Yeah, fingers crossed, man. If for nothing else, for Miami to lose, but that's all I got.
Really
I
interesting.
just worry about like a playoff bracket game. Are you going to get that first quarter where like nobody really shows like what they want to do, and you get like a 0, like the feeling out process? Is it like 3-0 at the end of the first quarter, and then did they go nuts? I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Miami. I mean, their schedule is kind of ass, but they're in the ACC. It's kind of ass by default. And then you look at A&M. Yeah, they were one of 4 teams that were 7-1 in the conference, but they didn't play any of the other 3 teams that went 7-1. So I don't even know like how good they really can be.
I was told there are no bad teams in the SEC, Darren. I mean,
well,
that means more.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Of football talent ever assembled.
Turn off ESPN and it'll be fine.
Just means more. ESECPN. Oh yeah, they're a great network. Yeah, I just don't know what to expect here. It's like you kind of look at the schedule, like, wow, these guys did what they were supposed to. Both teams, they beat for the most part who they were supposed to beat, save for a couple of duds from Miami. But
I think somebody's going to close here. I think one of these teams is going to get exposed in this game.
I think it's going to be Miami, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
They said one of the linemen said something about Bain for Miami on the other side. I'm like, great, and I got to piss that guy off. Probably. So, praise be to Feinbaum. So we'll go with the mighty SEC. So,
Indeed.
all right, the Lane Kiffinless Ole Miss Saturday, 3:30 in Oxford, Mississippi. Opening line, Ole Miss minus 17.5, over under 56.5. I'm still not touching this game. I don't care if Lane Kiffin's gone. So we'll start with I think we won Pete last time. Darren, let's start with you on this one.
I didn't bet this because I was holding out for a 17. A lot of the plus 17.5s were kind of juice. And, since these bets for us are locked in before we record, I couldn't get 17. So kind of bummed about that. But I think Ole Miss is going to roll here. I mean, this is a rematch of earlier in the season. I think it was like 45-10, 41-10, something like that. I mean, Ole Miss destroyed them. And I think just the way Kiffin ditched this team, I think there's going to be a little chip on the shoulder for the Rebels. They're just going to be like, all right, man, we're going to show you what you left behind. Something similar to the first meeting. Would not be surprised if it happens again. I mean, Retzlaff couldn't do anything in that first game. I just expect more of the same here. But I didn't get the 17 because the old backdoor cover scares the crap out of me because, Tulane's going to play all 60 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I could see like a 45-17, and then here comes a couple of cheap scores from Tulane in the fourth quarter when Ole Miss is playing their backups. But yeah, I don't see how Ole Miss does not roll here.
Peter.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was going to play anything here to be laying the points with Ole Miss, right? I just, that's a high number with Lane gone. So I mean, yeah, you'd be playing the fact that they're going to, have their fingers in the air at Lane. And they want to show him that they're just fine without him, right? That's what you're playing if you're going to play the over in this thing, because that's a big number, which I really consider the under here. But because I do think you're going to see similar to what we saw during the season. The same would be an under, right? So I mean, even if they completely destroy them, 50-3 or something, that's still an under, right? So to me, this really does lean pretty heavily under unless Tulane can find a way to do something, or to Darren's point, right, you're just getting late garbage touchdowns, and that is always a concern in a game like this, is when nobody gives a shit anymore near the end and you're just getting late garbage touchdowns, which inflate the score, which is always dangerous in games like this. So that's why I didn't touch it. But if this were a season game that actually mattered, for some reason, then that would definitely go under, but I'm not touching it here.
All right. More playoffs here. We got James Madison in Oregon. Opening line of Oregon minus 21.5, over under of 50.5. Darren, let's start with you. I've got a play on this one. I think you had one too. Is that?
I did not, but if I did, it would be Oregon or nothing for me. I was not impressed with how James Madison looked in their conference title game against Troy, considering all the pieces that Troy was down. I mean, it took to like the fourth quarter for them to even win that game. Pete's futures bet was really looking good for like 3.5 quarters. Had a pretty solid chance to come home here. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to say anything, okay, so both of Oregon's coordinators are taking coaching jobs elsewhere. Maybe that's a distraction, but I just don't see it. I'm not impressed enough with James Madison to think that they have a shot here. It's Oregon or nothing for me. But again, 21.5, the fear of the backdoor cover. I can see Alonzo Barnett doing something, 31-10, and he just scooches in for a touchdown when the game's out of reach. So I'm avoiding this here, but if I had to make a bet, it'd be the Ducks or nothing.
Peter.
Yeah, I mean, it's 50.5 in the slide, but I got it at 47.5. So it came down a bit. And I really like the over here in this game. I think Oregon is going to score. I think they're going to score a bunch. I don't know what James Madison's going to do. Yeah, Troy played quite nicely against them. So hats off to Troy for having a good season. I think James Madison's going to have to score a bit to try to keep up here. I don't know if they can. I'm not sure after that game. I'm not sure they're capable, to be honest with you. So I do think Oregon's going to score with the coordinators leaving to go elsewhere. I think especially on the offensive side, because Oregon does have talent. Yeah, I think they might play around a little bit. I think you might see some fun in games coming out of the offensive side, which could lead to some points. So I think it could be interesting. Yeah, I'm expecting a bit of a blowout here, and I'm expecting Oregon to score some points. So I really do like the over here. So I'm going 1 unit on the over. I almost went 2 units, but I'm going 1 unit on the over I got 47.5.
Before you give out your bet, I just want to say DraftKings is down to 21 as we speak. So if anybody's listening and has a DraftKings account, there you go.
All right.
Nice. Well, when I think of this game, you think, location, efficiency, and mistakes. Well, the location obviously favors Oregon. The mistakes, Oregon is a +8 turnover ratio, and James Madison is -1. So I'm liking that as well. I took Oregon. I laid to 21.5. I also, when I think Oregon, I think over. So I also, along with Pete, I bet the over, but I bet it earlier, and I got it at 50.5. I still don't care. I think that'll still hit. Both teams seem to be moving the ball. I just think James Madison may, keep it close early, and then at the end, I think Oregon just pulls away. They end up being too much. Once they get the lead, that's it. And if they take James Madison out of their game, it could just fall apart. So yeah, I know what it's. This Oregon team at home is a different animal. So I'm expecting the final score to be something, 42 to 17, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be sweating this, man. I think Oregon's gonna come out firing, and I think they're just go. I think they'll be gone. That's my thought.
So again, I have Oregon. I don't mind laying the 21.5, and I don't mind laying the over 50.5. Any final thoughts on this one?
Love your bets.
Oh, great, because that's every time you've loved them, they've worked out wonderfully this year.
Excellent. There you go.
Wonderful. So we'll move on. We got the Idaho Potato Bowl. We got Utah State -3.5. The over/under is 52.5. Got a couple players in the transfer portal for Washington State. Got a backup quarterback for Utah State. We got Tony Freeman. Utah State, Braden Pagan is the wide receiver. He's in the transfer portal, I believe. So we'll start here with Darren. We got over/under of 52.5. The line is Utah State -3.5. Where are you falling on this one?
I almost went Utah State here, but this line is dropping. It's down to Utah State favored by 1.5 points. Again, I look at this, I see more opt-outs for Washington State. And again, the thing about the coaches all leaving. Well, Washington State's coach is gone. Their new head coach is the old offense coordinator of Missouri. He's not going to be there coaching. And when that happens, sometimes you'll get kids who decide, I'm going to opt out and follow my coach to wherever he goes. So if you're interested on either side here, I would suggest just kind of wait and check the opt-outs on the day of the game. I didn't have anything here, but I would lean Utah State. Like I said, if you're on DraftKings, you can only lay 1.5, but that's my lean, but it's not even a strong lean, but that's where I would go.
Peter, how are you?
Yeah, the only thing I wouldn't wait on is the under, right? That number's already down 3 points. It's going to keep coming down, I think. This is an underplay. I didn't play it, but to me, this is absolutely an underplay. I think that number's going to keep coming down. I see anywhere between like 49.5 and 50.5 this morning. It might have come down more right now. I don't even know, but
DraftKings got 49.5.
Yeah, so with people possibly not playing and such, I think you're going to see a lower scoring game here. So I think this is a pretty sweet opportunity to get the under. But if you're going to play the under, I would play it soon and don't wait, because that number is going to keep coming down. But yeah, I don't expect fireworks here. I expect a lower scoring game. So those are my thoughts.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to the Boca Raton Bowl, December 23rd, 2:00. Louisville against Toledo. Louisville's given 7.5, over under of 50.5. That actually has gone down since I put that up there. Toledo in the transfer portal, Malachi Davis, defensive end. That's all I've seen as of a couple of days ago. I don't know if that's been updated or not. I haven't seen any. Darren, we'll start with you. Or where are you coming down in this one?
Yeah, when I went to make my bets yesterday, I was gonna play Louisville but it was 7, so I stayed away. Now I'm looking at DraftKings at 6.5, and this total's all the way down to 45.5, and the under is still juice. So now I'm scared to death of like who the hell's in and who's out for Louisville. I know they've had some running back injuries, but the two guys that they brought in as backup, I believe one was a converted wide receiver. The last game of the season against Kentucky, he rushed for like 200 yards, so. The running game doesn't worry me. This would all be whether Miller Moss is 100% healthy, and if he is, if he's going to play. From when you made this graphic, the totals come down 5 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling up here real quick. I'm just seeing if there's any updates with
5 and 6. It's 44.5 also in some places.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, again, you got another coaching thing. The Toledo coach left to go coach UConn, so the QB coach is taking over as the interim. Louisville's got a couple defensive linemen that have opted out, but again, potential opt-outs. Miller Moss, even though it says he's supposed to play. Chris Bell, they're a good wide receiver. He's got a torn ACL, so he's out. Isaac Brown's out. Kawan Brown is out. Duke Watson's out. I mean, those are 3 of their top running backs. And then a note here, Jeff Brom still unsure about the status of the running backs. He said he hopes at least one plays. Well, that doesn't inspire a whole hell of a lot of confidence. So, yeah, I hope a lot of things too, Jeff. I hope Sydney Sweeney will call me and ask me if I would like to go out. Happen. So, yeah, just reading that now, even with the 6.5, that total dropping 5 points. I can't run away from this game fast enough at the moment. So yeah, nothing for me here.
All right. Well, I went ahead and I did play the under here, 44.5. Louisville's defense is probably the best unit that's going to be on the field that day. Toledo, I think they rely on a lot of big plays. I think Louisville can limit that. I think there'll definitely be one of the toughest challenges they've had all year. The total is low, but like I said, with all the players out and everything, I do like this under, even though it went down. I wish I played it when I made the graphic at 50.5, but I'm still pretty comfortable at 44.5, laying the under for those reasons. And I think if any team scores, it's going to be probably Louisville, like 24-3 or something like that. So that's the way I'm leaning on that. Peter, any final thoughts on that game?
No, I think you nailed. I mean, I was going to play under all day. I mean, that 50.5 was to me way too high. But when I went to play it, it was already down to 45.5, and I was like, Jesus! Now we're talking almost a touchdown down. That's a lot, right? And that's just screams to me, what the hell, right? I'm to Darren's point. I just ran away. Like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it still feels like an under to me, but that's just too much, and I'm not throwing my money at that thing. So, yeah, I tapped out of it.
Understood. Understandable, too. All right, the New Orleans Bowl played in New Orleans. Go figure. Tuesday, December 23rd. We got Western Kentucky minus 3.5 with the over-under of 56.5 against Southern Miss. A couple of players in the transfer portal for Western Kentucky, cornerback Dylan Flowers and running back Lavelle Wright. I didn't see anything for Southern Miss. So we'll start with Peter on this one. Where are you coming down?
Yeah, when I looked at this, the number is 57.5. It's been kicking around that level. It's not that much different. I was leaning under on this. I think Western Kentucky's offense is a bit less explosive away from home. Southern Miss likes to get into some defensive battles to a degree. So, and I do think with bowls, we do tend to see at least some conservative coaching, at least in the first half, which kind of lean toward an under with a number that high. So, I mean, there were certain factors here leaning into under, but I didn't feel all that comfortable with it. I just don't know Western Kentucky good enough to be able to strip it apart like that. But to me, it feels like an under, but I wasn't overly confident in it, but I'm still leaning that direction. So that's my thought.
Darren.
Yeah, I agree with the lean to the under here. This spreads up to Western Kentucky laying 5.5 now. And all right, so here's what scares me to death about this one. Southern Miss, who had Charles Huff as their head coach. Remember, he coached Marshall last year, was unceremoniously booted from that position, brought like 742 players with him to Southern Miss. Well, Charles Huff is on his way to Memphis. So if I wake up Tuesday on the 23rd and half the Southern Miss teams opted out,
Yes, exactly.
The spread could go up to 6.5. So, yeah, I mean, just because Charles Huff apparently pretty popular with the players to get 20 some odd guys come over with him from Marshall, why wouldn't that happen again? I remember last year, like Marshall had to drop out of a bowl bid because they didn't have enough players. I don't see that happening with Southern Miss here, but I think if you're going to do anything on this, I would maybe take Western Kentucky because I got a feeling this spread might actually go up as we get closer and we see more opt-outs come in. But Western Kentucky or nothing for me, even though the best of the number is obviously gone. I just don't know who Charles Huff is stuffing in his luggage and taking to Memphis with him. So avoiding this like no other game.
Okay, we're going to keep moving. We got the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. I have seen no opt-outs in this between UNLV and Ohio. Opening line is UNLV -4.5 with an over-under of 62.5. I was leaning UNLV. Decided to back off on this a little bit, but we'll start with Peter on this one. How you feeling?
Man, that just feels high. I know UNLV a heavy tempo. They play a fast tempo. Fine, yes, sure. But I mean, Ohio can slow a game down a little bit. Not that they're going to stop them, but they can slow it down. With that big of a number, you get one quarter that's a little sluggish. Right? It gets slowed down, a turnover or two, anything. Right? That's just a big number. You need Ohio to do something as well. By the way, and Ohio's pretty good at forcing some longer drives, so I don't expect a lot of quick scores over and over again. I don't expect to see that. So that does feel like an under to me. It's just a big number here. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. UNLV is probably going to win the game. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But yeah, that number just feels high to me. So I'm definitely leaning on the under here. But I did not play it.
Darren.
Yeah, I agree with that under. And this game, I was actually going to bet UNLV until I found out we were actually going to record next Tuesday, like 4 or 5 hours before this game kicks off. So I'm holding off here, especially with the Ohio head coaching news today.
Yes.
I know kids can't do anything until a replacement is hired, but nothing is stopping any of them from not playing. I did read somewhere where Parker Navarro may not play. I'm afraid if that happens, the spread's going to go sky high, but I am going to hold off until we record on Tuesday. But right now I have a serious lean towards UNLV. And I think this total is kind of high, Pete. I agree with you. When I saw that, I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous. But I mean, UNLV was playing such ass defense early on. The last month of the season, it hasn't been that bad. So I just wonder if this is the case of a team way out west. Everybody that reads anything, oh, defense sucks. Last month it has not been bad. So I agree that this total is way too high. I've watched some Ohio games and have been bored to tears watching them on offense. It's not pretty. UNLV is not going to get 51 on their own here, but all things being equal, I would have bet this. But because we're recording again hours before this game kicks off, I'm holding off for right now.
Just don't hold off on the under. If anybody wants the under out there, don't hold off on the under.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to Ohio? That number's going to come down. So take that now if you want the under.
Exactly. All right. Well, this game we're also going to hold off until next week, correct?
We thought we were going to record on the 24th, but the 23rd worked better for us. So we'll hold off on that because I know Pete and I actually kind of love the Rainbow Warriors here. Yeah. We'll wait for the opt-outs. We'll cover that one on Tuesday.
All right. So we're going to move along. Let's just wrap this up a little bit. All right, guys, what you got? Pete, let's start with you.
All right, ODU and Southern Florida over 55.5. Missouri State, Arkansas State under 54.5. Alabama and Oklahoma over 40.5. And James Madison and Oregon over 47.5.
All right, I got South Florida -6.5 tonight over Old Dominion. Gave that picked out last week. I have Oregon -21.5 over James Madison. I also have the over of 50.5 in that game. I have the under of 44.5 in the Toledo-Louisville game. and Miami and Texas A&M over 51. Darren.
All right, yeah, just a heads up on the numbers that you might look at there. Pete did have a play on Army Navy, which was technically, now it's disappeared. I can't read it. There we go. Technically, that was the last regular season game. And since Tim and I did not have anything on it, I threw that into Pete's record, so he did hit the under there. And those season numbers that you see, that is the official tally for the regular season for us. Everything else is bowls. Tim, unfortunately, Boise State did not get, well, they scored 38, Washington scored 38. Boise State did not help. And as we're sitting here, this one game, the Old Dominion South Florida game that you guys have bet on, that's kicking off about 10 minutes ago. That started. But tonight, later on, I do have Delaware +3 over Louisiana. I also have NC State laying 4.5 over Memphis. And apparently I did bet Ole Miss on 17.5. For some reason, I thought I did not. But yeah, I did. So yeah, forget everything I said about holding off. There's not going to be any opt-outs here. It's the bracket game for crying out loud. Yeah, I did lay it with Ole Miss.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. Also, we do have another episode out with myself and Craig from Final Score podcast. We're arguing about the playoff structure. We're trying to change it. That'll drop sometime. Is that up yet, Darren? Is that?
No, I'm probably going to put that up probably on Sunday, because the last Sunday video I posted actually did pretty well for us. So.
All right. We'll put that up Sunday. Be sure to look out for that. Again, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and on Spotify. Leave us your picks for the bowls. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you all very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.